Saturday. I hope that you guys have been well and that you're doing well. Welcome to another episode of your Soul Care Wednesday. Today is the last one before Christmas. I can't believe the next Wednesday will basically be in Christmas. At such a time as this, Christmas will be coming towards an end, and then 2 weeks from today, we'll be bidding bye or farewell to 2024. Time has really flown, and looking back into these episodes has just been amazing. As I said, having you guys coming live and watching the episodes so far has been an interesting journey. I've enjoyed every single part of it, and I really thank you guys that even now I can see some of you guys live with me, and I never take it for granted. Today, I'll go straight to the point. I just reflecting on the fact that it's the last one before Christmas Day. Next week, I'll not be doing an episode because I like you guys to have fun, have good time with your family. So next week will be a break, and then potentially we'll do one more episode before the year comes to an end. We've looked at so many things so far in this episode. We have looked at forgiveness. We've looked at letting go. We have looked last week on journaling and just allowing yourself kind of to, how do you say, remember those good things, journal gratitude and things like that. And today I'll take just a minute to talk a little bit about this coming week, because I know it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be lots of madness. It's going to be, as I say, like the season really. So this last week I talked about some people who will be kind of in a way experiencing a lot of loneliness in the season, and I'm just saying that don't think that just because you are lonely you are alone. You're never alone. And today I just want to continue to talk about this season, obviously, because it's what we are in at the moment. We have the fever of the season, just a week away from Christmas. I don't know if you have gone up to the stage of decorating your house, or if you haven't decorated your house, if you have gone overboard or bought already the gifts, or you haven't bought the gifts for Christmas, all those kind of things. I don't know where this gets you. If you're like me, we need to move houses, so because of that, I've literally just been lazy. I've done absolutely no decoration. So if you come to my house, there's no Christmas tree, there is no Christmas garlands, there's basically nothing, because in my mind I have this fantasy that we should be out of this house before Christmas Day. But we haven't packed even a single thing. Basically everything is still where it should be. So at the end of the day, it's like I'm fantasizing to be in a new house by Christmas time, but again I know it might not be possible. So if you come to my house, there's no decorations. And so if you have decorated and you're watching live with us, why not put it in the comment? Tell us what was the most interesting thing you did. If you haven't decorated like me, tell us why you haven't decorated. As I said, we should be moving anytime basically out of this house before the end of the year. So that's why I'm like, I'm not decorating, and then I have to put everything down, and then I have to move again. I'm not just doing that. So, and I can see some of you guys live with me. Thank you so much for joining us. And then, of course, there's going to be that part of some of us want to invite everyone for Christmas. Who's on your invitation list? Are you bringing family? Are you bringing friends? How are you doing it? I remember growing up in the village, Christmas was a time where all of us, irrespective of where we were in the world, will go back home. We'll go back to Kenya, where I was born, of course, in the village. And all of us will come together, we'll cook some meat, some food, do everything. Hi, good evening. We'll do everything together. And that was really time for recollection as a family. But now, because we are all of us older, and as I mentioned openly, my mom and dad are no longer here. They passed away a couple of years back. So I don't feel that obligation to go back home anymore. But it gets to a point where I feel more obligated to be with my family, like my husband and my son, and do some Christmas things together. Also, it's changed for my Christmas. Before, we used to go a lot to London. I live in the UK at the moment. So we used to go to London to my sister-in-law, and that's where we spend Christmas. But now with my boy coming along, it means like there's a lot to plan just to travel 3 hours in a car to kind of go and eat Christmas somewhere. It's nice, it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing wrong about that. I have nothing against it. But it just feels a lot of too much work to do. So because of that, we will be spending Christmas, just a few of us. We'll be really just at home. We'll go to church. After church, we'll come back home. We will do some cooking. And then we'll mainly spend time. That is, please God, if we manage to move. Because if we don't manage to move, that's going to be something that will be stressing me out to think about, like relocating, because whether we like it or not, we have to be out of our current house by the 31st of December, and that's stressing me out, if I'm honest. So that's something that we will be doing. And then, yeah, if you're going to be spending with family, that's something that you really need to enjoy. That's something that you really need to treasure, because I said I can pay anything in the world, or give anything in the world to have another Christmas with my mom or my dad, but obviously they're in another world. I can never do that. So just enjoying family and enjoying time with the people that God has given into your life, that's really important. But above everything else, as I said last week, and I gave an example of my dear friend whom I dearly love. She spent £5,000 buying presents, buying gifts, and buying all these things for people for Christmas. You know, when it comes to January, like I was just watching the news earlier on, and they're talking about the inflation rate in the UK is up at the moment. Thank you, Eduardo, by 2.6%, right? That means if you go to fuel your car, you're going to be paying more money. If you go to buy food, and I watch news nowadays, I never used to love news, but I'm starting to tell myself I can't live in a world where reality doesn't exist. And I was watching news yesterday, and they're saying like carrots have gone up, potatoes have gone up. Basically, what we eat for Christmas dinner, it's all gone up, right? So again, as I said last week, when you're going to be spending, when you're going to be doing stuff, remember moderation is key. Hi, Lily. Moderation is key, right? If you're going to eat turkey, right, don't overeat, and then come January, you'll be like, oh my word, I put on so much weight, I need to get rid of it. It's much more harder than if you are intentional, right? If you're intentional about, I'm going to go into this season, I will still go to the gym. Sadly, I'm not able to do much running at the moment. I've tried the best I can, and I've gotten to a point I'm like, Claire, it's fine. It's a season you're in. Just take it calm, take it easy. When the time will come, you go back to running. So, but I've gone back into so much cycling. I'm doing lots of cycling at the moment. I'm doing lots of weightlifting at the moment, because I'm just like, come January, I don't want to be telling myself these turkey weight needs to go and these kind of things, right? So be intentional about going into the season and telling yourself those things that you don't want to cross over with to 2025. You can as well not pick them up, right? Don't pick up a date that you don't need. If you don't need to buy a present, don't just buy a present because everybody's buying a present. Recently, one of my students, bless her, she came to my office, and I'll never forget this. It was really funny. It was the Halloween weekend. So she came, she's an international student. She came to my office, and she had like a ghost that she made a paper ghost for me. Bless her, which was really hard. It touched my heart really for her to do that. And so I was asking her, why did you have to make me a ghost really for Halloween? And she said to me, when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. And I say to her, I've been to the Romans, so to say, but I don't do what they do, because I wouldn't just do what the Romans do, because I don't know what exactly the Romans do. I'm not Roman, so she was trying to convince me. She spent so much time on YouTube trying to understand how to make a paper ghost so that she can make me a paper ghost for Halloween because it's what she wants to do to feel part of the culture, right? Don't try to blend in this season to feel part of the culture. If you want to eat chicken, don't go and buy turkey because the culture asks you to buy turkey. That would be foolishness, right? Don't go and try buying everything just because you want to do that because the culture says that, right? I am Kenyan. On Christmas Day, we eat chicken and we eat ugali. I'm going to eat ugali. I'm not going to eat a Sunday roast because I don't even know how to make a Sunday roast. I'll try to be British, but that's not what I am. I am proudly Kenyan, so I will want to be myself and do me, be me. And that's the word that I want to say to you guys as we're crossing into Christmas. I'll come and talk to us before January so that we talk about the new year. I just want to encourage you for this season. Don't go making ghosts, right? Spending time on YouTube to figure out how to make a paper ghost to make your teacher happy when you can basically come and chat and talk about something else that will still make somebody happy. Don't go out of your way to live a borrowed life to have an amazing Christmas and then you have to pay back the datas in January because come January, you'll have to pay back. Sorry to say this, right? If you have a credit card, you decide to use it, it's not going to be the end of the world. Come January, you'll have to pay back the credit card. And employers are usually a bit interesting because most of us, we will definitely have been paid before Christmas. So that means the next pay we're getting will be end of January. So we need to really be very, how do you say, very prudent with the expenditure. So if you're going to be paid like me before Christmas, please don't go on a spending spree because our employers are very, very clever. They pay us end of before Christmas. The next pay will be end of January. What will you do for a whole month if you go on a spending spree? And then you remember, yeah, I messed up and I don't have money. We need a lot of wisdom. We need a lot of integrity and we need a lot of common sense, right? They say common sense is very common but not commonly used. So please be one of those people that will use common sense this season. As I said last week and this week, I'm just devoting to talk about the season. And I want to bring it to a close, but just as I bring it to a close, know that it's going to be a season where a lot of people will be doing silly things. A lot of people will get into dates that they shouldn't be. A lot of people will get into trouble where they shouldn't be because of trying to fulfill desires that can be avoidable. So let's be people that will be very intentional and decide and say, I'm going to be wise with how do I spend my time? How do I spend my money? How do I spend my calories, which is important for me? I'm a very calorie-driven person. I love to understand what are you eating, how are you eating, and things like that. I was yesterday somewhere with a friend of mine, and we were sitting. I went out for a coffee. We were sitting down, and this hall was packed with people, like lots and lots of people. And all these people were literally having, some of them were having just cakes, some of them were having scones. It was like really temptation. And I was telling my friend, I said, you're really tempting me because I can feel the amount of calories I've eaten here. Somehow I'll have to pay. So don't get into trouble like me and put on so much calories and weight during this season that you'll have to figure out how to get rid of it come January. So I know we will not be on another live stream. I'm not intending to do any more live streams before Christmas time. So I want to take this moment and this opportunity to wish all of you a very, very Merry Christmas. And I hope you'll be able to use some of these nuggets, some of these advice, some of these free shares to be people of integrity, to be people that know how to use your time, your effort, your amount of anything that you have. Have a great one, whether you're decorating your house or you're not decorating like me, whether you are staying in your house for 50 years, 20 years, 10 years, or you have to be out of your house like me before the end of the year, or whatever that will happen, I have no idea. But my prayer for you is that you will continue to prosper and be in good health even as your soul prospers. Enjoy your Christmas, a very Merry Christmas, and I shall see you before the Happy New Year. God bless. Hope you know that you're loved, celebrated, and appreciated. Good night and see you soon. Goodbye.